Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's just turned 2 o'clock and Sam has pressed the button to record. First of all, is apologies for absence. Sam?
Thank you, Chair. We have apologies from Councillor Nicola Matthews.
Thank you. Any disclosures of personal and prejudicial interests? No, there's none. And then 3 to approve and sign the minutes of the previous meetings as a correct record. Pages 1 to 7. I'll go through them as normal.
Cool.
I still go through them, Penry, in case somebody wants to jump in. Pages 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Councillor Matthews has moved, seconded. Wendy, all in favour? Thank you very much. And straight on to the only item, which is the annual report. But before I do, we should have had another report to this, which is the draft economic development strategy framework. But apparently this wasn't ready in time, so it wouldn't have been signed off to come to this meeting. So we've only got the end of your report. So over to you, Bill Holmes, and if you'd like to kick this off, and then members will jump in if they say you're not.
Yeah, well, thank you, Chair. Yeah, so the report that you got is a for information report, and it summarises.
Yeah, you did, Bill.
Can you hear me now?
No, you're not muted, so there must be something wrong in the room. Yeah. Sam has already been told that when she enters the room, everything breaks down.
Still can't hear me?
You hear me, Phil? Nod your head if you can. Oh no, he's gone.
Yeah, they've gone off.
There it is. No. Can you hear me? Nod if you can hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Oh, so you can hear us, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, I
Right.
can hear you.
Well, we're 50% of the way there. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, Chair.
Yeah.
You can't hear me though.
Cartel is on as well. Can you say something now, Phil?
Yeah, I'm still here.
No, I can see your lips moving, but there's nothing coming through.
Yeah, I can hear you.
If you can still hear me, we're waiting for Hugh Evans to come in now to press a button that Sam hasn't.
Okay, I'll sit tight.
Anything now, Phil?
Can you hear this, Chair?
No.
No.
No, your mouth's still going. Your mouth's going, but we can't hear anything, Phil. Lots of people saying that's a good thing, but nobody here. Ryland, can you say something, please?
Hello. Can you hear
No,
that?
your mouth is going too and can't hear anything. Can you hear each other? Phil and Ryland, can you hear each other?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah.
I can hear Ryland. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can hear Phil as well.
Yeah.
You should await developments, I suppose.
And I'm guessing you can't hear me in the room. Anybody? Only those.
Can you
remote.
hear us, Hugh?
I can hear you, Hugh. But
Yeah, I
I'm-
can hear
But I'm on
everybody.
Teams.
Yes, I can hear Hugh Evans as well.
All right, but no one in the room can hear me, obviously. All right, I'll fiddle further now. Give me a second.
speak again, Phil?
Can you hear me now, Chair?
Oh, hey. Well, the reaction you had there, yes, we can hear you. And it wasn't
Good.
crazy. I think it was boo, some of it, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, shall I have another go at it then, Chair? I hope it's worth the wait and
Yeah.
there we are.
Anyway, wait till Sam comes back. And then
All
we'll
right,
start.
okay.
In case you say something that's vitally important and she's not here to record it. Okay, Phil, over to you.
Okay, thank you. So the annual report, it's a full information report, and it just summarises really the journey that we've been on together over the last 12 months or so. We actually met 8 times during that period, and obviously a lot of things were discussed. So I'm just going to give a quick sort of summary really of the type of things that we discussed, if that's okay. So the first meeting of the committee took place in June last year, and I, as part of that sort of inaugural discussion, I set the scene, I think, in terms of the transforming our economy and infrastructure sort of well-being objective. I made a presentation there on the regional economic delivery plan and all the things that we've been working on there and how it reflects on Swansea. So that discussion, I think, as I say, set the scene, and that update was noted, and that led then to the next meeting, which took place on the 28th of July, where we discussed the work plan for the year, and we agreed that we would be looking at priorities such as the Swansea Resident Rewards app and the work that we're doing on the Tower Riverside corridor and the Swansea-based strategy and that sort of thing. And obviously that's developed throughout the year. So the next meeting was in October, where the head of digital and customer services, Sarah Lackenby, gave a presentation and a report on the Residents Rewards app, spelling out all of the benefits of the app, all of the challenges that are involved in producing such a thing, and after a good discussion on that, it was noted that this is something that you'd like to progress, and that a further update would be brought forward at a future meeting. But the next time you agreed that the bid would be involved to get some stakeholder engagement there. The next meeting wasn't until December, where we had a presentation from my colleagues Gail Evans and Paul Ralph, who've been leading on the Tower Riverside corridor strategy. So that took you through the sort of strategic objectives of that whole corridor, what we're trying to do there in terms of celebrating and restoring the sort of cultural heritage of that corridor, maximising its potential for businesses and for investors and for visitors as well, and for residents obviously. So that presentation was well received, in particular the progress that we've made on things like the powerhouse building, which is the building that Penderyn are investing in, and it was agreed that a further update would be provided later in the year. Then in January we had a discussion on the local economic delivery plan. So this followed that first meeting where I presented the regional economic delivery plan. This session really was about what that means for Swansea and how we should develop our thinking in terms of taking the regional strategic objectives and translating those down to Swansea, and how that work then would help us in terms of the economic recovery that we need to stimulate post the COVID pandemic, and all the things that we want to do in terms of growing our business base and survival rates and skills and increasing GDA and household income and all those things. So that session again was well received. and it was agreed that a further report would be brought back. And of course, that report was due to be presented today, but as you said, Chair, there were delays, so that's had to be put back. The meeting in February took us back to Tower Riverside, and in particular the levelling up bid that has been successful. So it was a good opportunity to reflect on the next phase of investment in that river corridor, and of course that's encapsulated in the levelling up bid that was successful. Over £20 million investment coming our way, which of course builds on what we're doing at the Harvard Copper Works, and then taking that further with other buildings and working its way down the river, down to the Strand arches and even down to Swansea Museum there. So major investment for the city. So that again was a good discussion and well received, and it was agreed that we would be looking at more of an action plan approach for Tower Riverside. So we've got enough strategy, we know where we're going, and it was about shaping that now into an action plan, I think, building on the levelling up agenda that we've got. So that's another one for further discussion at a future meeting. In March, we had the return of the Residents Rewards app, but this was a closed session, and it involved representatives from BID and Vindico in terms of a demonstration of the app. Again, that was well received. And then finally in March, there was a presentation from report and presentation from the head of property services, Jeff Bacon, on the Swansea Bay strategy and delivery plan. So again, reflecting on the strategy, which is an old strategy now, but still some valid components there, and certainly room for development in the future. And it was agreed after discussion that given the confidential and commercially sensitive nature of some of the schemes, some of the sites, that a further session would be arranged to look at that, perhaps more of a workshop type style session. And that summarises, Chair, the work of the committee during the year. There are no financial implications with the report, nor legal implications, and also, as this is a full information report, it didn't require an integrated assessment implications report either. So happy to hand back to you now, Chair, and help with any questions.
Right, thank you, Phil. Anybody got any questions or observations on the report? No. Just a couple of things on the report. Was on the second one on the 28th of July, where we had a report from Mr. Holmes setting out our priorities. This wasn't solely done by himself. It was with cabinet members, with the director of place and himself. So you know, this was a joint venture by senior members of staff, as well as cabinet members, and then they came out with a list of priorities that we should look at, which we duly followed. You mentioned the Swansea Residents Rewards, which we thought was absolutely brilliant. We've been talking about it for a while. BID came to the presentation, the second presentation, and everybody thought, oh, this is going to work. So I went on yesterday to see if it was there, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So we still don't know when this is going to be launched, because this is squarely in BID's pocket. We did put some funding towards it, but hopefully by the time this committee meets again, that will be up and running. On the Riverside corridor, I personally think this is very important to Swansea as a tourist destination. There's lots of room there for development, so I don't think we should let this go, and it should always be on the agenda, and it should always be improved on, because when the distillery opens and Skyline comes down, we don't just want those two items to be there. We want to have a lot of other things there that people from Swansea will go and visit, but also outside Swansea, I would say, well, you know, we've got other places in Pembroke as a destination centre, and they'll say, well, let's go to Swansea. There's more than likely 2 days out there, not just 1 day. So they'd come to Swansea for a couple of days, and I think this is very important. On the local economic delivery plan, we've agreed for a further report, and yeah, we got to keep on top of this as well. And also, we were going to go into a workshop on the delivery plan because there's a couple of sensitive things around that. Other people from outside are interested in some of the sites. It hasn't taken place yet. It's trying to get the right people together at the right time in the right place. And as you know, in local government, that's never easy. But we will get that done. Well, whether the next committee, I hope they won't let that go. They'll hang on to it and get it delivered. So that's all I've got to add. There's nothing else. I think we had a very good year. I'd like to thank all the officers who have put an input into what we've achieved this year, and also the members for their input. And I think, well, I don't say thank God for Teams, but Teams has worked in this instance, because years ago, well, 2 years ago, if you weren't feeling well, you missed the meeting. Now you don't have to miss the meeting, or if you're going somewhere in your car, you can still join the meeting. So has anybody else got anything to add or not? No? Okay, well, that's all's on the agenda for today. As I said, the other piece we had didn't actually make it to the meeting, and this is the last meeting of this municipal year of this committee. So we won't know at this moment in time who's on it, who's chairing, who's vice chairing. So we won't know that at the moment in time. So let's hope that they carry on, whoever they are, with the work that we've started. And if there's nothing else, can I thank you all for attending? Thank you very much.